Hello, humans, fish, whatever you may be. I am bringing to you the usage stats from the Pokemans in Generation 4 OU from last month. So, at the time of this recording, last month would be February in the year of 2026. These are actually the top 67 Pokemon. These go all the way down to 1% usage rate. So, I got a lot of these guys here. And then, as always, well, not as always, because he didn't exist in Generation 1, but in Gen 3 and 4, this is usually the number, that's pretty much almost always the number one guy, Tyranitar. And it doesn't really surprise me too much in Gen 4, but it's just that, well, I just discovered recently, and by recently I mean literally today, that Latias actually used to be banned. So theoretically speaking, it should be a number one Pokemon, but no, it's more it's less used than Tyranitar. Then you got Cringe Jirachi, the greatest outlaw in the West of Sinnoh. That Ironhead thing, it's not even number one. And you also have another Sand set all the way down here, which is Hippowdon. But yes, Tyranitar stands strong. It doesn't care about time. It doesn't wither away like everybody else does in the sand. And then, as I just said, in the number two spot is Latias, who used to literally be Ubers. The reason you don't see Latios, her older big brother, is because he was literally beating up the whole entire tier. He did too much damage, so he was never sent back down to the realm of mortals. But Latios was. And then in the third spot, which everyone says this is the best Pokemon. Well, it's not being used the most, but Jirachi for the Ironhead cringe flinching thing. Now, me personally, I'm a fan of Superachi, which I don't even know that's what it was called, but it's just the Calm Mind, Psychic, all that other jazz. And then at number 4, this actually makes sense. Now, remember, don't conflate this with actual power levels, although Gyarados is really strong, but I do see Gyarados a lot, so it doesn't make sense it's a number 4, and I've seen different sets on. I've seen, oh, and it pretty much always has Dragon Dance, but Waterfall, Earthquake, Thunder Wave, Taunt, Sup. I've seen a Rest Sleep Talking one with Dragon Dance and Waterfall. Yeah, even though there's Stealth Rocks everywhere, Gyarados doesn't really care. Then from 25 to 20% usage, we got Starmie. Yeah, Starmie, I mean, you can see the numbers yourself. This is, out of all the Pokemon that can learn Rapid Spin, this is the most popular one. If you see a Starmie, I mean, I myself, I use a sample team, and it does have a Starmie that has Rapid Spin on it. So, I'm surprised. Actually, look at this. Donphan and Fortress down here with, like, Hippowdon. They're, they're both immune to Sand and Rapid Spin, and I bet they're a bit tankier. I also don't really see the Starmies that are defensive like they were in Gen 3, I guess, because of the power creep. So, but yeah, like the one that I use is just offensive with Rapid Spin. And yeah, I guess it's because it's a faster paced game, so no one really cares to try and play the long game with Donphan or Fortress. I don't know. Heatran, this guy, a bit versatile. I've seen lead ones with rocks. Choice Specs one with Overheat. Oh my god, that one did a lot of damage. That makes sense. I see that one a lot. Metagross, I also see that one a lot too. Very popular like it was in Gen 3. This one, when I see Metagross, they run other things too nowadays. Like they use Thunder Punch now, guys, because you can just, capitalize off of Metagross's physical attack stat. Isn't that interesting? And then Scizor. Scizor is one of the most buff Pokemon from Gen 3. It wasn't like bad in Gen 3, but kind of like a more inconvenient thing to try and pull off with like the Swords Dance, Endure, Agility, Reversal, yada, yada, yada. All those things no longer part of Scizor's vocabulary. The only thing that's in Scizor's vocabulary is U-Turn and Bullet Punch. Now from 20 to 15% usage, Infernape. That's a very, very good mixed attacker, although I swear it feels like I run into Lucario more. But that's just what it feels like to me. But yeah, firefighting, I mean, that's just extremely good mixed coverage. And it just learns a bunch of different moves. It's a mixed attacker itself. Like, the stats are actually distributed evenly. So, close combat, overheat, flare blitz, whatever. You can even run focus blast if you feel like missing a lot. I don't know why you choose that over close combat. And then you have Dragonite. Dragonite also got buffed a lot. Do you know where Salamence is on this thing? It's nowhere. It's like Latios. That dude took himself to much, much higher places. Like Dragonite got buffed, Salamence got buffed. It's because of Outrage. I guess there's a few other things too, but Outrage, dude, these guys didn't have like a ridiculously, stupidly strong like stab thing. In Gen 3, it was Dragon Claw, which was okay at the time. Now Outrage is like 40 more base power, and then you factor in stab, so technically it's like 60 more. And you have like, what's it called? Oh, the Outrage is now a physical attack. That's the most important thing. So yeah, these guys got huge buffs. Life Orb. It's crazy. These things, yeah, very good late game sweeper. Then you have Gengar, one of the best competitive or one of the most consistent competitive Pokemons of all time. Big shift from Gen 3. This guy actually can use its stamina. This dude, it clicks Shadow Ball. I know, right? It's crazy. Never would have thought I'd see the day. Flygon, I see that thing all the time. That guy also got buffed quite a bit. Seen a few different items on it, but I think the best one's the Choice Scarf because it gets U-turns. So you can kind of pivot out. Earthquake, Fire Mist, Outrage, that kind of stuff. Now, Skarmory here, of all these Pokemon, this is the most popular Pokemon that can learn spikes. And I gotta be honest, sometimes when I see this thing, it doesn't even like go for spikes on me. I've never used a Skarmory myself, but they just go for like rocks. I mean, it's weird. He had like Roost and stuff like that. But I mean, I guess with this whole split thing going on, Skarmory can't keep up. Because in Gen 3, this thing is a monster. An absolute monster. And they gave this thing Roost. And it's like not as overpowered as it was. Isn't that interesting? I find that to be interesting. Now from 15 to 10% usage, we got Azelf in the beginning of this level. Yep, Azelf, I would say the most common unalive yourself lead. It just gets rocks, taunt, boom, that kind of thing. Very straightforward. Swampy, still very popular, still very useful, and kind of like Skarmory, where I thought it would get stronger, but I guess, well, it didn't get weaker, definitely got stronger, but everybody else just got way stronger. Still very popular, rocks, versatile mix attacker, that kind of thing. Zapdos, oh man, I swear I keep running into the same guy on the ladder, where he has a Charge Beam Zapdos, and he'll just like sweep me. It's so, I don't know if this is like hip or cash money or whatever, and this is what the kids are doing, but just know, I mean, when your base special attack's so ridiculously high, it works. It does a lot. But you know who else is ridiculously strong and does not have a ridiculously high special attack? Bronzong. You know when he has a ridiculously slow speed stat. You slap a Macho Brace on this thing becomes a beast. I don't know if you guys have seen my Gen 4 battles, but I wanted to say some people mad, but the only person I can think of is only one. I don't remember what their name was, but it happened. Okay, I didn't want to over-exaggerate, but it did it to at least one person. They were mad at the Bronzong. They said this is like, a skillless, OP team, whatever. I thought it was dumb. I was like, Macho Brace. I think it halves your speed. Either halves it or thirds it. I never heard thirds it. Is that even a word? I thirded your speed. Well, whatever. It cuts my speed. Those gyro balls are now doing close to 150. Like the next Pokemon right here, Rotom. You can 2-hit Rotom. You can. Oh, that's another thing too, because this Rotom washing machine fellow is not electric water. It's electric ghost, so it only double resists it. And yeah, you can take him out with 2 gyro balls. It's pretty crazy. And Rotom Wash, I don't know how I really feel about this thing. I think they all, with me not knowing what I'm talking about, I think this thing just simply got better when it got access to the water typing, because then you have a Stab, Hydro Miss, and Electric Water, very good type with Levitate, You only have one weakness, which is Grass, so you're basically like a Swampert all over again from Gen 3. But yeah, I mean, Volt Switch doesn't exist yet, unfortunately, but these things do like to run like Scarf. They can trick you, Thunderbolt. I one time fought one, actually, I think it was this morning. They had Rain Dance for Tyranitar, because you switch it in right to Pursuit it because it's a ghost type in this generation. This guy went for Thunderbolt, then they went for Rain Dance as I pursued them, and I didn't kill him because they didn't switch out, and then they went for Thunder. Yeah, because you can't miss the rain. Interesting strategy. Up next, Lucario. This guy is sort of like an Infernape. Very, very mean glass can. Swords Dance. The steel. Close combat. Extreme speed. Mash. This thing can be... It's a mixed attacker. It's usually Swords Dance, though. Because people just prefer, close combat and extreme speed. It's not as fast as I thought it was. Infernape's a good amount faster. It's got like 40 more speed. But yeah, don't just learn from me. Don't underestimate Lucario. These things always have life orb, close combat swords, and there's not too many things that enjoy that. Employon on the sample team that I've been using a lot, that's literally the lead, and it does unusually well. Like when I first saw it, I was like, this is dumb because it has Hydro Miss. Works pretty well. You go for rocks, they break you down your sash. You go for the Torrent boosted Hydro Miss, kills a lot of things, Aqua Jet. So you can actually 1v1 like an Aerodactyl. Because you both go for rocks, you hit them with a Hydro Miss, and then you have Aqua Jet, you kill them with priority. And they take you out the next turn. After you go for an Aqua Jet on the next Pokemon, then you have switch priority. It's pretty cool. Suicune, I haven't used Suicune Gen 4. I don't think it's as good as it was in 3. I think it literally does the same exact tricks. I don't think it got buffed or anything. I think it's in the same exact environment. Sand, spike. Now there's Stealth Rocks too, so I guess technically it'd be worse. And the Toxic Spikes too. Poor Suicune. That's a lot of blue Pokemon in a row. Well, remember, guys, this isn't like a power ranking, and this is just simply how much people are using it, because I think Clefable, this doesn't really reflect the power ranking. 10% to 5%. You got Clefable here. This thing, I guess, yeah, I don't see it too often, but this thing is, oh man, this is like the new Gen 3 Blissey. I don't know which one's worse, because I've only kind of dipped my toes in Gen 4, but this thing, oh man, it has Magic Guard. That's an incredibly powerful ability that elevated Clefable from the realms of mortal to a deity. You know, a demigod basically, and it has knockoff too. Now knockoff's not overpowered, but it's not like wildly distributed at this point in time. And even if a bunch of people did have it, they wouldn't want to use it, because knockoff in Gen 6 obviously got a lot stronger. So right now it's mainly just a utility support thing. Getting rid of leftovers. It's usually leftovers is pretty cool. Yeah, it's just pain. It doesn't really die, man. It can be very, very not fun to. If you battle one, you know what I'm talking about. I'm moving on. Magnezone. This guy can give Empoleon some trouble. Granted, you know, if you switch into the Empoleon, you know, Hydro Mist. Anyway, the point is this thing has Magnet Pull. So, and Steel is pretty good. I mean, Heatran, Metagross, Skarmory, Empoleon. Oh, Jirachi. That's a big criminal right there. So you got 5 really popular. Oh, Bronzong. Forgot. Lucario. Although you might need a choice scarf for that one. Yeah, the Steel type's obviously a bit bulkier on average, so you might not even really need the scarf, because there's Magneton coming down later. I didn't notice, but Magneton's actually faster, so you usually prefer Magnezone just because they do more damage, and the Steel types are pretty not fast to begin with, so you can outspeed some of them and just, you know, kill them with Thunderbolt, whatever. So it's pretty good at trapping without being insanely overpowered. Rotom Heat. Kind of the same thing as the washing machine guy, I guess. Well, what do you prefer? You prefer Overmiss or Hydro Miss? Kingdra. I fought one today on a rain team. This guy does a lot of damage. Now he has access to Dragon Pulse, which isn't really that good, but it's an extra, like, safety thing. Like, you know, because if you'd fight water types before, water and ice, water resists that. Water's a pretty good type, but now he's got Dragon Pulse to help him out. And just whatever else in general is a safe option. I think the one I fought had a Life Orb, Surf, Ice Beam, Dragon Pulse, and Hidden Power Electric. Breloom. I don't know too much about Breloom. It's a lot different for sure. It got changed a lot from Gen 3. And what's interesting is the usage is about the same. Because I just did this on... I did this whole kind of video on Generation 3. But Breloom's a lot different because now it has Toxic Heal, right? And it actually has, like, Grass Stab being Seed Bomb, right? And so it kind of does the same tricks with the whole substituting and punching you in the face. But now it has access to Grass Stab, and it just kind of heals itself more now. But I guess Gen 4 power crypted so much that it looks like it's still exactly the same. Gliscor is a new addition to the game. Now, in this generation, from what I've seen, I don't think you can have... well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think you can have Sandville. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, the Toxic Healing Gliscor doesn't exist. That was Generation 5. They thought that was a really cool idea. They got inspired by Breloom. So it's not insanely annoying. That's probably why it's down here. Celebi. Yeah, I mean, your contemporary in terms of base stats is Jirachi. And yeah, I mean, why would you pick Celebi over Jirachi? Leech Seed. I don't even know how Baton... I don't think you can Baton Pass in Gen 4. You got Leech Seed. Dawn Fan and Fortress. Oh, that's a Spiker. That's the second most popular Spiker. And this is the second most popular Rapid Spinner. That's the third most popular Rapid Spinner. I don't know too much about them. Don't really see them too often. So I don't want to spread propaganda on them. I actually see Aerodactyl quite a bit, but not these guys. Blissey, I'm so glad that it's all the way down here. It's just not as powerful as it was in Gen 3 because of the split. Like, for example, Gyarados in Gen 3. It could defeat Blissey, but it could be kind of rough because it's usually its strongest attacks to be either Hidden Power Flying or Earthquake. Dude, that guy's got Waterfall now, and it can flinch you, and it's a physical attack. Ugh. Yeah, so, well, I mean, that's a good thing. I'd rather suffer like that than be walled by Blissey all day. I mean, it's still an incredibly good special wall, but with this split, and because in Gen 3, they're at that time, you know, because normal was only weak to fighting, and fighting was only physical attack. So you didn't have any special weaknesses back then. But now, for example, Waterfall, Water Move, which Blissey would have shrugged off in Gen 3, and he ain't shrugging it off in Gen 4. So went down a bit in terms of power. A Powdon. I don't really know why there's such a massive gap between these two. Now, from the Tyranitar that I use, that one's got like Pursuit. You know, Powdon can't do it, but they both have rocks. They both set up permanent sand. This one actually gets Slack Off too. Stab Earthquake is pretty good. This one has Dragonance. I don't really know. I thought the gap would be a lot closer, but I guess Tyranitar is just the goat of Pokemon singles. Aerodactyl. This is a lead kind of similar to Azelf, and even I guess Empoleon. It's a sash lead. It's very insanely, stupidly fast. See, the kids on the block, they're running Stone Mist. Now, I haven't run Aerodactyl myself, but me, I get it. You know, it's strong. You know, Stone Mist. Oh, it's the new cool move. But don't forget Aerodactyl's roots from Gen 3. You know, maybe you guys should consider Rock Slide. You know what I mean? Like, Stone Mist can do a lot of damage, but they don't die. But you know what Rock Slide does? Rock Slide makes it so the opponent can't do, like, they skip a turn. All right, now we're falling into UUBL, I guess, if you will, territory. Although Gen 4 was weird because some of these guys are OU by technicality. You know what I mean in a second. Particularly this yellow guy right here. Rose Raid, that is a toxic spike dude, sleep powder dude. Grass got, I'd say, a pretty solid buff here. Like in Gen 3, the most common grass move, you know what it was? Hidden Power Grass. Now they have like Leaf Storm, Grass Knot. I don't know if Giga Drain got buffed. There's another one I'm forgetting. Leaf Storm, Grass Knot. Oh, Energy Ball. Energy Ball. Yeah. So you got that going for you in Sludge Bomb, right? That's a special attack. Togekiss. Dude, I'm surprised this isn't higher. I guess that's good. It's probably because it's weak to rocks and sand. But this guy has Serene Grace. I would keep my eyes out for that thing. Weavile, insanely fast. Glass Cannon. Weak to rocks. It is an Ice Dark type. It's kind of how Weavile's supposed to be. Fast, frail, whatever. Okay, so I get they didn't have a Magneton sprite on this thing, so this is Magneton, this shiny Magnezone right here. This is supposed to be Magneton. So I don't even know the particular situation off the top of my head, but you would actually prefer Magneton over Magnezone for certain Pokemon that you're trying to outrun. Because remember, the only advantage Magneton has over Zone is it's slightly faster. So there you go. I don't know what you're outrunning. By the way, there's 3 electric types in a row. This guy's got a reputation. When Gen 4 came out, everyone was like, oh, this is going to be so cool. I'm going to be like Paul from the anime. And then they just fell on their face when this thing was created. I mean, I don't know how, but Raikou's lower than Electivire. I guess they're... Remember, this isn't a tier list, so maybe people are just trying to be funny and make it work, or they really like Electivire or whatever. But from the knowledge that I've seen, this is not the dude you want to run into combat with. Jolteon, I think Jolteon fell a lot in usage because the Choice Scarf was invented, because in Gen 3, that dude was, in terms of relevant Pokemon, was basically speed time with Aerodactyl for the fastest thing, but now it's no really longer the thing. You could put a Scarf on Jolteon, that just seems like kind of overkill. So, yeah, and then you got, like I said earlier, Flygon often runs Choice Scarf, so you're just going to die to that thing. It's not fun. I one time fought a crazy team. I don't even know what happened, but the guy had like Rock Polish Rhyperior and like Gravity Bronzong. I don't even. It was insane. But this, I think I actually got swept by Rhyperior, and I don't want to remember the details. So I'm moving on. Tentacruel. Oh, I have no idea actually. Tentacruel. I don't think I've ever seen a Tentacruel. He doesn't have Rain Dish. That was Gen 5. So it's got Rapid Spin, Toxic Spikes. I guess that's what you would use it for. Abomasnow. Oh, and the Mamoswine, the other ice type. Yeah, ice types are really good if you couldn't tell in Gen 4. That was our first ice type, Abomasnow. The guy that permanently sets hail. That's actually not too bad as I initially thought. I actually fought a hail team not too long ago. And it was interesting because you're because they had a Clefable. Clefable works good on the hail teams because obviously Clefable has Magic Guard. So you could put it on a sand team, but if you bring in Abomasnow, then your Abomasnow and your Clefable and maybe another ice type if you want to bring that. So now you got 33% of your team not taking any damage, whereas because nobody's going to use ice types, the opponent's team is probably all going to be taking damage from hail. So it's actually kind of not a dumb idea. I mean, the typing kind of rough. He has priority ice shard, so you can take out some of these dragons like Dragonite Flygon. That's Gliscor. That's cool. That's really the best thing I could think of, really, because that ice grass typing, that is ooh, Mamma Mia Pizzeria, Yabba Dabba Doo. And then you got this guy. Oh yeah. Snowcloak is banned, which if you didn't know, Frostlass is actually banned because that's its only ability. So Frostlass isn't even anywhere on this thing, which is kind of sucky because Frostlass, Focus Sash, Spikes, it's like an Azelf kind of thing. But it's, I've seen Mamoswines kind of doing it. They have a sash. They go for rocks. I've seen them with Endeavor, Earthquake, Ice Shard, all that stuff. I mean, I guess you would. I would imagine. Well, no, yeah, Mamoswine works in the sand because it's part ground. That's probably. You know what? I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm moving on. Dusknoir. I don't think I've ever seen a Dusknoir. Nidoqueen I have seen. This thing, it's immune to sand and it does soak up toxic spikes. It's actually, wait a sec. Yeah. So this is the most popular Pokemon that soaks up spikes. In other words, this is the most popular grounded poison type. I mean, it's actually the second most popular poison type after Gengar, but Gengar's got Levitate. So that's why you would use Nidoqueen. That's its niche. It's actually, I don't think it's an insanely good niche, but it is a thing. I mean, it is the best thing at doing it. Heracross, man, Heracross fell a little bit off from Gen 3. I don't really know why. Oh my god, all these guys kind of fell off. Snorlax, what are you doing down here? I didn't even notice that. I don't think I've ever fought a Snorlax, so I can't even give you my opinion on that. No, Raikou, I would think that guy's higher because Doug Trio is nowhere to be found. Because Arena Trap is banned in this generation. Huh. Isn't that interesting? And then you got Ludicolo. And then our final tier from 2 to 1%. This is like very obscure. You will probably most likely never see this on the opponent's team. Like, for example, Uxie right here. This is a UU tiered Pokemon that I used way back when I did like Gen 4 UU like a year ago. So you probably won't be seeing that. You're going to see his older brother Azelf here. Milotic, I'm surprised it's this low. I would imagine it just fulfills the same role as Gen 3, but since I guess everybody got strong and Milotic, to my knowledge, didn't get any new tricks, it kind of fell down a little bit more. Kabutops, I saw it on that rain team that I mentioned that was with the Kingdra earlier. This guy can be scary. If you set up rain long enough, it goes for a Swords Dance. So that's Swift Swim because he's got Waterfall. It's a physical stab thing. So that is very scary. I guess you could even work on a sand team too, but ideally rain. But it's one of those Pokemon where it needs a little bit of support. But it can be scary. Porygon Z, I don't think I've seen that one before. Hitmontop, that is a rapid spinner. I actually have had to battle one of these things before, but it didn't really cause me too many issues. Cresselia, I don't know too much about Cresselia because I've never battled one, I don't think, but I would have thought this thing would be way higher, way higher. Like, this thing is hella tanky. I don't really know why it's all the way down here. This is pretty much damn near a not viable Pokemon. Huh. I don't know why. Yeah, and Mega, Tinted Lens, but there's this thing called Stealth Rocks, and not the biggest fan of it. Umbreon, kind of like Gen 3, I suppose. It was good in Gen... This is about actually the same usage as Gen 3. I guess nothing really changed. Just kind of a wall, but, you know. Now you got rocks, spikes, toxic spikes, that kind of stuff. Close combat, you know. Quagsire. Quagsire is just, you know, mainly just outclassed by Swampert. You got 2 Rotom appliances back here. Hey, at least you're better than the fan. I don't even really know why you would use these ones, actually. Because, like remember I was talking about Hail earlier? These guys, this one's not an ice type. So, I don't know why. Cradilly. Don't know what that thing would be up to. Something nefarious, I'm sure. Blaziken. Don't think I've seen that either. Gallade, I actually have seen this, and I got ruined by somebody with a Gallade. I'm being so serious. Gallade has a pretty strong... It's kind of like the newer... It's kind of like Gen 4 Metacham, I suppose. It's got the same typing, but now it has close combat. I don't think Metacham gets that. So yeah, it has close combat. I think it's got Fake Out too, just because Shadow Sneak, Psycho Cut. It can get other things like Leaf Blade, Life Orb. So I think its max speed is 284, which isn't that fast, but it just hits so insanely hard. I didn't think it would, but I'm telling you, I got beat down by one of these things before. And I think it gets Will-O-Wisp too. And I think Will-O-Wisp actually got buffed as well, so yeah. Sceptile. Nope, don't think I've ever seen that. Registeel, yeah, I've seen Registeel, yeah. That's a stealth rocker. It's kind of the same thing as it was in Gen 3. I don't think it goes like the cursed Registeel like I used on the Taco Bell thing. This one is just more support. Rocks, Thunderwave, whatever. Kaboom, see you later. Vaporeon, now less used than Umbreon, interesting. Wish, support, and that kind of thing. And then our final Pokemon, number 67. I didn't even plan this. 6-7, right? I wasn't trying to be funny. It's actually the final Pokemon, right? Barely above 1% usage. It made the cutoff at 6-7. And I think it's down here because, like in Gen 3, no one really, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say this, but to me, I think it's just outclassed by Aerodactyl. Because this guy, now he has Stealth Rocks too. This guy's weak to rocks and sand. Poison's not exactly cash money. So yeah. All this kind of makes sense, although I from my experience, Kabutops feels a lot stronger. I have no idea why Cresselia is down here. I don't know. So there you guys have it. This is the final product. So your question is, who do you think is the most underrated Pokemon in terms of these usage stats? I would say, from what I'm seeing right now with my 2 little eyeballs, I'm going to say Clefable. I think that thing is absolutely disgusting. It stole Blissey's job. Not the Gen 4 Blissey, the Gen 3 Blissey. And it has knockoff now. Scary times we live in. And by the way, I actually, I didn't know how strong Clefable was at the beginning, but I actually played Gen 4 UU before OU, and Clefable, you can use it in that tier. Not bringing Clefable to a UU battle is like, it's like when Landorus Therian first came out and people were like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to be that good. You know, it's like, oh, God, what are you doing?